Coaching is a fundamental concept in any competitive scene. It comes in many shapes and formats. For some players, it might involve sitting down and reviewing their own vaults and replays to understand their gameplay better. For others, it may involve talking with a coach to gain insight through interaction with someone who can help fill the gaps in their knowledge. Broadly speaking, coaching is widely accepted. It's something that most professional or high-level players will engage in at some point in their careers. It's also highly beneficial for any player who is starting out with a solid foundational understanding of the game but lacks the depth to execute it optimally. There is, however, a part of coaching that remains somewhat controversial. Mid-set coaching, which involves communicating with a coach between full matches, has slowly but steadily increased over the past few years. So, in today's DashFight video, we want to provide an overview of what exactly happens when coaches go on stage to talk with their players, as well as some arguments for and against allowing mid-set coaching. Mid-set coaching involves players receiving guidance from a coach or teammate during a tournament set between matches within the same series. This can mean strategic advice, emotional support, or reminders about the game plan. Traditional one-on-one fighting game tournaments focus heavily on individual skill, but coaching adds another layer of depth. This practice has become common in other esports such as MOBA games like League of Legends and FPS titles like Counter-Strike, where teams frequently consult coaches between rounds. The perception that this practice is almost cheating or controversial primarily stems from cultural factors. Fighting games have traditionally been competitions focused on individual players. For most of its history, this meant that everything a player brought into a tournament was essential for their success. Your skills, the hardware you use, your fight stick and your notes, these are all personal tools that you've prepared to ensure a strong performance in the tournament. Although fighting games have not become overwhelmingly more complex over the years, some depth has been added. Additionally, the skill level of players competing in tournaments has significantly increased. What we really need to emphasize is that the last point makes all the difference when it comes to effective coaching. Having a deeper understanding of other players and specific matchups, whether they favor or challenge the player being coached, provides an undeniable advantage. This knowledge equips coaches to offer insight that a player without such information simply doesn't have, enhancing their performance on the field. This doesn't mean that every coach is a full-time coach dedicated to just one player. In fact, in most cases, the coach offering advice is another player from the same team and has often played against the opponent earlier in the bracket. This means that they might already have some strategies in mind that they couldn't fully execute when it was their turn on the stage, and now they're sharing that knowledge with their teammate at key moments. Coaching isn't just about strategy. It can also serve as a break, providing a chance to reset the mental of a specific player. This aspect of coaching has become controversial in the past, especially when it disrupts the opponent's momentum. Critically, tournaments provide this break as per their rules. It's up to the tournament organizers to determine the duration of these breaks, allowing the players time to think, review their notes, take a mental reset, and maybe hydrate while they're at it. While some tournaments have explicit rules regarding mid-set coaching, generally there's an unspoken allowance during this time for someone to reach out to a player and offer valuable information or support. In many instances, this break is often just a few seconds, providing time to think about a change of stage or perhaps even a shift in character before moving on to the next round. With all of that said, let's get to the question that we posed at the start of the video. Should mid-set coaching be banned? Our answer is a definitive no. Mid-set coaching is a valuable and interesting development for fighting games. It helps players offload some of their understanding of difficult matchups and match dynamics, giving them more space to concentrate on pure execution. Ultimately, execution remains one of the most critical components of the game, and that can never be coached between rounds. No matter how much coaching a player receives or its quality, they will never be able to defeat another player who executes their strategy better. To be clear, you may think differently. You may believe that it adds unnecessary break time, or that it could potentially alter the outcome of a tournament because a keen-eyed teammate was watching. If you do, well, first of all, go ahead and share your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear your opinion. But secondly, that's the fantastic thing about fighting games and their grassroots tournament culture. It allows you to talk with your local tournament organizer or even organizers at major events. And if you feel that strongly about it, they might be able to be convinced, for or against.